Okay, friends, what's up? I'm the Wizard Pirate, and I'm here to bring you episode 10 of my Crowfall pre-alpha series. Um, so let's get started. If you don't know what Crowfall is, it's a game that has been in the works for the past few months. It's created by J. Todd Coleman and Gordon Walton. I really found it because of J. Todd Coleman, because he was the creative director, I believe, of King's Isle, who make Wizard 101 and Pirate 101. If you haven't watched any of my videos, I suggest you go and do that. There's a playlist on my channel. And, let's get started. So for episode 10, we're starting off with campaign modules. I think they released this 2 weeks ago, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And all it basically said, was that there was a new fact about campaign modules that has been released. I'm sorry, I have a cold, so I'm gonna be I have the sniffles. So I will be sniffing a lot. Sorry about that. I should probably blow my nose before I keep going. Yeah, I'll get a tissue while I keep going. Okay, so starting off with the campaign module FAQ or FAQ or however you want to say it. The amount of campaign worlds, are going on at one given time is determined by how many players there are in the game. It's pretty straightforward. I can see how that is because they don't want to have I guess it can go two ways, where you don't want to have over 100 or even maybe I don't know how many they want right now at this point when it releases. But if they are going to have, let's say at the beginning, while they're doing the alpha and the beta and stuff, let's say they have 100 games going on at one time. And there's 1,000 people, that means that there's gonna be 10 in each game, I think, right? I think so. If they're all playing too, I mean, some people just sign up for random betas to get in, and then they only play it once, like I did with Fortress Fury. I was in the first testing for the Apple devices for Captain Sparkle's game. Played it once, and I never really got back to it, and then my time was over by the time I wanted to replay it. Attributes and modules are the two major changes that can be put into worlds. So when a game is created, you can change the attributes and modules, or they will change them. I guess I'm not really sure. And that's what makes a game world different from all the others. So you can say I think you can work with magic. I think it says it right here. They're configuration settings. The attributes must be set in order to play in the world. These settings would include map size, duration of how long you want the game to be, important export rules, which would be how much materials would you want to come into the game with, and how much you want to be taken out of the resources you have put in your bank. Magic level, so how strong you want the magic to be. If you want magic to be OP or something like that, I don't know. Archetype restrictions. That I think magic level could also be how strong the characters are with the hunger. I guess you could kind of consider that magic. I'm not really sure. Archetype restrictions. If you only want to have 2 or 3 different archetypes to be able to play in the world. Resource scarcity and death penalties. That'd be a really good hardcore thing. If you die, you just lose everything, and you just that'd be so awful. But that'd be kind of fun, actually. I'd rage though if I died. Oh my god, I would never do that in video or anything. No, I would never. Modules are more complicated. There's self-contained rule sets. They said it was kind of mods, in Skyrim or something like that. And how they can change the game a lot or a little bit. I don't think really by graphics wise, but adding new things maybe. It's the only thing about how it's not mods. It's not created by a player community. Artcraft Entertainment makes that, and you can include changing the siege rules, adding new types of caravans, or adding a divine summoning system. These modules are kind of made so that it adds a new twist onto the game to keep it interesting. This really comes into Skyrim, how really no one would be playing Skyrim if they didn't have a huge mod community, because there's nothing new going on after you really finish the game and play it for a few hours after that. It's just kind of really repetitive. So if you add new questing, add a really good graphics and stuff, it really makes it a whole new game. So that's really what keeps people playing 5 years. Would it be 4 years now? Almost 5, I think, after the game is originally released. World bands are made for three campaign difficulties. If you know what you enjoy in a game, like a kind of like a middle, or like if you want to go really hard with something, you can use the world bands as a way to start your search. So you can say kind of like not like well, it's more mainly PvP. So if you're trying to look for a PvP thing, it's probably more like you search for like a medium type of world band, and then it search up for people who put down in the worlds. Like this is kind of like for people who play a good bit, but they're not like the best at playing the game. Something like that, I would think. Artcraft Entertainment will be able to create new things to add to the worlds if enough people in the fan base are up for the idea. So if everyone really wants like if everyone to like buff up the griffin or like make a new type of griffin that's a little bit more difficult and that you could fly, I feel like you tame it or something, they can do that. Customizing your kingdom is the next one. This one is pretty short too, and it goes into how there is some updates to the Eternal Kingdom fact, which I did in episode 7. So here are all the updated materials that I have found. So this is the Eternal Kingdom FAQ fact updated. There's not a lot, because I have done like a good run through. I don't know if you consider it good, but in the cards up here, you can go check out that video and find out for yourself. The provinces that you give other people to set up are set up by the owner of the Eternal Kingdom. The provinces are a certain piece of parcels that the Eternal Kingdom itself has. You can get parcels by I'm not sure exactly how, I forget because that was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But it's like you kind of just give it their land and you can kind of set it up. They have a really good picture. I remember I downloaded that, so let me go look at it. No, I won't. Never mind. It's going to take up too much time. How long we got? Okay. I'm going really slow today. But you can just kind of set up. There's a video on YouTube. I don't have the link for it. I won't put it in the description or anything, but their YouTube channel is awesome. They have a ton of stuff. I definitely go check that out if you're just getting interested in the game, or if you just haven't seen it. Kingdoms can be made public or private. That's kind of a main thing, you know. I think you know which one I want to. If you don't want people to see your castle, you can just say this is private. No one can view it. In the housing thing, I'm not a big housing person though. Wizard 101, Empire 101's even smaller of a community, and I feel like all the things in the world are actually smaller. So I'm even less of a fan in that game, even though I like it more. If the monarch in the game, which is like the king of like the whole Eternal Kingdom system, your things in the kingdom is put into a bank thing. I didn't know what to call it, so I just called it a bank thing. That's kind of like your bank, I guess. I didn't need to put thing there. Parcels and buildings that in the world are not permanently put into other locations. It can be moved around. I'm not sure about this, but I said I do not know if you can do this, though. What? I do not think you can do this, though. I do not think you can do this, though, if you have given the land to someone else. So if you say, here, peasants, take this piece of land, you can't, like, decide that you're gonna move this parcel halfway across the map of your Eternal Kingdom, because it's theirs, and it's just gonna be really weird. So I think if it's untamed land, it's just, like, yours, unlike, let's say that person, the elder, whatever you want to call it, quits, you can move that land wherever you want, but if it's someone else's, you can't move it, or maybe you need like their permission or something, I don't know. Now the next thing was milestone 1 combat testing. So things that Artcraft Entertainment has been working on has been divided up into 2 sections, which would be stuff that for the summer testing and things that won't be tested but are still need to be worked on for more long-term dates. Things that they would be working on that are crucial for the game would be something like combat for PvP, which would be probably put into the video. What am I saying? The alpha and the beta, and I think they're gonna start doing some pre-alpha. I don't know if that's public or if that's just in Artcraft. But I think it's kind of like a completely different thing than the alpha and the beta that we all signed up for. Hopefully. Combat would include things like movement, targeting, physics, animations, and power chains. I think power chains are kind of like combos. I'm not positive though. I haven't really played a lot of games that include combos. I mean, I was interested in Mortal Kombat X, but it's kind of like blood, and yeah, that wouldn't be good. And plus, it's $60, and I don't think I would play it for the how much I would rather want to pay for a $60 game. Things like game balance is also very important for the summer testing. They have rebuilt the combat system from what we saw in the video. I believe the video they're talking about is from the Kickstarter. So if there's a little video that you can see, I believe it's on their YouTube channel too. But they said that it needed to be hardened and that it wasn't really good enough for their standards, which is good. I mean, I'm glad that they create a system and that they say this sucks, let's just redo it all. I mean, we won't want people to buy your game and then see that the combat system's not that good, because that's a really big part of the game. During the testing, there will be limited content, so it's not going to be everything. Maybe I think the beta will probably have a little bit more than the alpha itself. But I would think that the alpha is just going to be testing the worlds, and maybe by the end of the beta, they could have something like they could put in the Eternal Kingdoms a little bit, because that seems to also be a big part of the Crowfall experience. And I think I'd like to be I'd rather that the Eternal Kingdom system is really cool, and I would really like to experience that. They will want to have somewhat 3D environments by the time for the summer testing, and things like powers will not be balanced due to that. That's what you're testing out in the pre-launch stuff would be like combat, so they're gonna need to test that. This would all be in the pre-alpha testing, I guess, and then Aaron and I will not be able to actually play the game until for the first time until Beta 2 and Beta 3. I am put in for Beta 2, Aaron is put in for Beta 3, so I'm hoping that through, when you get into the beta, that they're just gonna plop you in, and then when they say, okay, we can add on more people, they're just gonna plop the Beta 3 people. So I don't know if I get to keep playing in the Beta 2 areas, because I was Beta 2 in the Beta 3 and just keep going on until launch. I'd really like if someone would answer that. I don't know. I could try to email them, but I don't know. The testing will not be a 24/7 thing. These things will go up at certain times, and then after they find a few things to fix, they put them down, fix them, and try it up again a few days later. The testers for the pre-alpha will be selected in order from a list. I don't know if I can join that or not. Or maybe it's just the company. If they decide they need to have more people, they'll ask more people to join. The testers will be able to talk about the game freely for the public. I think at that time I'll try to share links on Google Plus or something from some really cool things once it goes up to the pre-alpha testing, so people actually think of the game before it actually comes out and I'm actually able to play it. Yeah. So things like podcasts or something like that. I would hope that the people of Crowfall Radio 101 will be able to test it, because that's a really good podcast. They also do Spiral Radio 101, which is a Wizard 101 and Pirate 101 podcast, and they also talk about a lot of other things. I don't think they've uploaded Crowfall lately. Maybe I don't know. It's usually on Wednesdays, so I'll go check on my podcast after this video. They don't want to have the game just like be a deathmatch, because that can be annoying if like you're a low-level character and there's a high-level later and you're like, oh no, I'm defeated, because that is so annoying when you go into like Destiny or something like that and you just can't get this guy. It's annoying because I can kill them usually, but if there's more than one of them, I can't do it, because one of them will probably have some type of exotic, because I don't have any exotic weapons yet. And then, I only have rare. I've been trying to work up for some legendaries, and I have enough strange coins for this week. If there's any machine guns or rocket launchers, I'll be able to buy that, and I probably will. But, they want to create something so you know that you're fighting and why you're doing it also. So, kind of like a backstory, kind of. Evolve tried to do this too, but they didn't really do. I don't think they did that good. State of service, form, and store. Our crafting commands working with Seth Scoville, I think his name is and a company called Software Sandbox to enhance the experience of the Crowfall websites. Here's a link to all the things that they have changed. I'll put it in the description. It's just like crowfall.com/the hashtag, and then it's news/state of the web forums store. And then Combat Chat, our Craft Entertainment has uploaded a video that talks about a lot of combat. I mean, a lot of it. There's nothing else I'm gonna say about that because everything's in the video, but they also have it written down if you want to see that, and because I don't know, maybe you comprehend them. I don't know. But that is youtube.com/watch V equals numbers feature equals YouTube. Okay. Those will both be down in the description. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, like, and favorite. Ooh, we went like 16 minutes. That's nice. Wow. Okay. So nothing. I'll try to have the Battle of the Bands video up sometime this week. I'm gonna finish the Marley Bone thing that I was gonna do because I didn't really get to it, and that's about it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I shall see you guys later. Bye.